right. Hey everybody, Joseph Christ here from 4PlayerNetwork.com over here at E3 2013. Going to talk to someone about DayZ. Who am I talking to today?
Hey, I'm Matt Lightfoot, the production assistant on DayZ Standalone.
Awesome. So this is the new standalone DayZ, away from the Arma 2 stuff. What's new now? What have you guys added?
So we've got quite a bit to show. This is our current development version as of 2 days ago when we were working on it at the hotel.
Nice, like right before you showed up.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So we've got our new inventory system, we've got the improved map to show, we've got some of the client-server architecture, although that is difficult to show because we're currently running a single-player build. We've got the new zombie pathfinding. All of the things that are in our current development version is in that we've got to show on the show floor.
The biggest thing that could have sort of stuck out to me was the lack of HUD compared to the old version of DayZ.
Well, we want to really make it more intuitive, and so that players think about it. You know, you don't really know when you're hungry, your exact hunger level. Right. So we want to give players messages, you know, you're feeling hungry, you're feeling very hungry, you have a headache, you know.
Your tummy's grumbling, that kind of thing. That's awesome. I kind of like that, as long as those messages keep on coming fast and furious and giving you a good idea of what's going on and stuff. Because the HUD was, I think it was good because you got all this visual information, but it was almost maybe a little too much stimuli at the time, you know, a little too gamey. Maybe?
Yeah. Well, it is one of the things that we are going to have to balance. You know, we might not give the messages often enough, so that's where we can get community feedback, which is why we want to get the game out as soon as possible, so the community can start messing about with it. Yeah.
Once you get something in the hands of thousands of people, they'll start coming back at you with stuff that they want and they want to be changed and stuff. So talk to us about the new inventory system. I saw a little bit of that, and I noticed a new crafting system as well.
Yeah. So at the moment, we've got a couple of craftable recipes on show. You can combine maps. So now you won't instantly get a full map. We've got different map sections, different types of maps. You can also purify water. It's just simple as clicking and dragging. The new inventory system, we want to make slightly less clunky than Arma 2's, so that players can double click, you know, to pick things up, drop. And we've also got two ways of picking things up. You can look at them and use spacebar, or you can press G and pull things from a shorter distance around you.
Oh, nice. So in terms of player interaction, is that sort of going to be the same thing as DayZ? Because that's pretty much the half of the game, is interacting with other people, not knowing if they're friend or foe. How has that sort of evolved in this new version?
Well, player interaction, some of the testers, you know, we still want to keep it fairly fluid without rules, but we need to give players the tools to, you know, interact, and we want to give them the benefits of working together rather than making it just a kill fest. Right. But as long as we give the players the enticements to work together, hopefully people won't shoot everybody on site.
Is that something you're kind of hoping for? Or you try to move players away from player-on-player combat, more of a cooperative sort of game, or do you want to still give that freedom out there?
Well, it's twofold really, from both sides. You know, we want players to work together because, you know, it's nice to think that in an apocalypse people are going to help each other, but in reality, you know, as you get more desperate and survive for longer, you're going to be much more careful and less trusting. So, you know, we're making things more difficult to get, like medical kits, and giving them separate parts, so players are more likely to come together to share those things.
Oh, so the crafting is sort of in there partly to sort of get players to, I have this piece of this medical kit, you have that piece of that medical kit, let's get together and possibly you can put that together.
Yeah.
Interesting. I did notice there's a sort of razor gun mechanic,
yeah, and
that seemed like something that would happen when you sort of meet people in an open field who you don't know, and you're sort of deciding if they're trustworthy or not. What about signaling the other players? Are there ways to do that?
Well, we've got some gestures that are currently being developed. They're actually a bit broken at the minute, so they can freeze your player, but we've got like surrender, waving, and things like that we've added in from Arma 2 and added some more as well. Just going back to the raising your gun mechanic, we've been playing around with how you control the player to make it more fluid. In Arma, the gun was pretty much always raised, but we were like, you know, that's not really very trusting. If somebody's got a gun raised, you're going to shoot them.
Exactly, yeah, that's true.
So we first of all tried, you know, holding spacebar to raise the rifle, but, you know, if you're holding it for 2 minutes, it gets a bit tiresome. So now your player will pretty much drop the gun very, very often because guns are heavy.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So there was teased a long time ago the possible inclusion of dogs in the game. Is that coming out, or is that being worked on?
Well, when we showed dogs at Gamescom, it was something that we were still developing, and we never really got them right. So it's something that we'd like to do, but it's not something that we're working on at the moment.
Nice. Anything else you want to leave us with?
Hopefully we can get it out to you guys very, very soon and get something playable so you can start giving us feedback and break it, and we can try and fix it again.
Oh, actually, I had one more question. I totally forgot. So player structures, is that something you guys are looking at, sort of where players can sort of make their own home bases and defenses and whatnot?
Yep, so base building is something we want to do, but it'll be much later in the year,
okay.
because it's just a mammoth task.
Sure, yeah.
And we want to get, the solid game out there first, and then we can start working on the end game. What we're looking at doing is, rather than above ground structures, below ground.
Really?
Yeah, because if we go below ground, we can instance it, but if it's above ground, they will be littered across the world, and it'll be exceptionally difficult.
That's true.
From a technical standpoint.
Right. Okay, great. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been great.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Joseph Christ, 4-Player Network at E3 2013. Check us out, 4playernetwork.com.